Morning, everybody. It's now 10:30. I'll call the meeting to order, the Public Safety Committee. Becky, would you do a roll, please?
Sure will. Mike Copine,
Here.
Kane Hudson,
Present.
Katie White, Mike Pearson, Chris Norbert.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I don't have anybody here from the public that, I'm sorry, Melanie, you're sitting in the shadow over there. Did you have anything you'd like to say? Yeah, please.
Thank you and good morning. I'm going to be meeting with Mr. Kevin, I don't want to butcher your last name, Lally, directly after this concerning the Harmon, Village of Harmon and Township siren. So we are definitely going to be in need of the siren and the button. I spoke with Chris of the township and probably going to end up doing the whole kit and caboodle. But when I speak with Kevin, we're going to talk about getting a plan together first of everything that we're going to have to do prior to doing that and setting up a preliminary thing because it's going to take us a little bit of time to even get all of that together. And so I hope that we'll have some success from that first and work on that. And thank you.
Thanks, Melanie. Okay, did anybody have, or did everybody have a chance to read last month's minutes? And if so, are there any corrections or additions, changes to be made? If not, they'll stand approved as presented. And I believe Terry's report is on file and available in the packet. She's not here. Amy,
Good morning.
morning.
So I just wanted to bring you all up to speed on the court technology grant. We received the results and unfortunately they denied our request for the new case management system. But they did allow for about $29,000 for replacement computers and an upgrade to the court panic alarm system. I called the AOIC to try to get more specific information on their reasoning, just other than denied, because that's how you get it back. And, you know, they have a long process to go through, a big audit. They have to determine what takes priority. And if all 102 counties in the state apply for it, you know, they have to determine who needs what. So they did also say they look at the technical side, whether they think our projects can get done in fiscal year, the state fiscal year, which is June 30th. So that's the answer I got back from them. I do know one other county was denied a new case management system. I do not know which county that was, but they did tell me that there was one other one. So going forward, I'll be meeting with the team and the board to go over financials, how things are going to be paid out. Right now, we do not have a start date for the project because we have some things in legal right now for amendments that is being done with Tyler in our contract. So once we hear back from that, we'll get a start date. Hopefully we're looking at May or June. I do know that they have a team ready to go with our departments and we're also ready. With that being said, we're kind of looking at hiring a project manager. Assistant State's Attorney Brian Brim is retiring and we're looking at him to maybe be our project manager for this project. Speaking to other counties, they say if you don't have one, it's a nightmare and you won't meet, you know, your project timeline and deadline with go live. So we're looking at doing that as well. So that's where we're at right now. Do you guys have any questions?
Any questions for Amy? I guess not. Thanks, Amy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, nothing from the coroner, judges, or public defender, emergency management agency. Mr. Lally, you're up. Would you like to go over your information or?
Any questions on the report that I submitted?
No, good report. Detailed as always.
Can answer any questions if you
Any
have.
questions for Kevin? Okay, if not, thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. Health Department, Kathy's not here. Probation, Stacy.
Good morning.
Morning.
As you know, is a flurry of activity taking place at the new courts building with painting and carpeting and many other things going on over there. A couple weeks ago, my office received a new paint job throughout the entire office, as well as carpeting within the office. We had to relocate my entire department to the EOC for a period of what we anticipated to be 2 weeks to get that job done. That job ended up getting done in a week, and we were able to have the entire office moved back from the EOC to the Probation and Court Services Department. The amount of work that went on from the maintenance crew, the cleaning staff, and the IT department to make that work was amazing. It worked like clockwork. I was completely astounded. There was a lot of teamwork. There was a lot of communication. It was astounding to see an entire department get picked up, relocated, and returned with no issues, no problems, and no concerns. I think there needs to be some recognition to that maintenance department for the work that they do. They did an outstanding job. The cleaning staff is fantastic, and the IT department was very efficient in getting us unhooked and hooked back up in another facility. Also, I'd like to thank Kevin Lally for allowing us to use his room. That's a fantastic room in the courts building. It's got a lot of space, a lot of connections, and it's a perfect environment for a lot of things to take place there. So it was a very efficient operation that took place, and it was amazing to see that.
That's great. That's good to hear. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody have any questions for Stacy? Okay, thanks again, Stacy. Appreciate it. Moving right along, this might be a record. Sheriff, you're up. Would you like to go over your report? Good reports again?
No, unless anybody has any questions on the report.
Lending to the Public Safety Act again.
Yes. The pretrial fairness.
It's very interesting reading if you're ever concerned about the Public Safety Act and how well it's helping law enforcement and the state's attorney's office. Maybe you better not read it. It might infuriate you just a little bit.
It's very frustrating.
Any questions for the sheriff? I know Tom was relating to one specific case, and when you read this one specific case with what, between 5 and 10 previous convictions or arrests that this particular couple had, and just bye-bye.
Actually pending cases that they still have.
Yes,
So they're not adhering to the release conditions by not committing other crimes when they're out on release.
well, they're taking advantage of their expertise is what they're doing.
That's true.
Okay, thanks, Sheriff. Mr. Boonstra, State's Attorney's Office.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it was enjoyable to have Stacy in her office across the hall from us, coming down from the 4th floor and slumming with us on the 3rd for a little while. So a little bit of change in our office. We have a new assistant state's attorney that just started today. His name is Mike O'Brien. He's going to be filling in from the role that Brian was in as a senior assistant state's attorney. We also have a Supreme Court Rule 711, Jenna Reedman, that's been in our office for a little while as well. And with any hope in passing the bar in July and getting the results in October, hopefully she'll be starting with us as an assistant state's attorney in the fall as well. She's been doing a great job in doing traffic and misdemeanor. Other than that, not a whole lot going on other than what Sheriff is already putting in his reports with the Pretrial Fairness Act and some of the things that we've been dealing with.
Okay. Any questions for Charlie? Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate it. Any new update on the quarterly fines? or anything?
I do not, I think I gave it last month.
Yeah,
I
you
don't-
did
don't
give
know.
them last month.
Okay, I don't have the numbers for this month.
That's fine, thank you. Jeremy, would you like to highlight on the details from our session last Tuesday? I thought it was a very good session too, by the way.
Yeah, so short update on abandoned nuisance properties. We met on Tuesday of last week and discussed a handful of updates on where we are at as a county, specifically with the Strong Communities Grant Program. We need to start wrapping that up by the end of the year. We are still working with Amboy in the city of Dixon on a handful of properties. Assistant State's Attorney Stephanie Sasser and myself met with the attorney for the city of Amboy a few weeks back and provided him with the information that he will need and they will need as they continue to process multitude of properties that they are looking to utilize our funding for. We discussed the Lee Center School. Again, if you have not taken a trip out there, the community group did a great cleanup out there, and it looks fantastic. We have been working with a developer that is trying to turn that into 10 to 20 units for mid to high level apartments, which is vastly needed within our area. So, as we continue to look at our housing gap and shortage throughout the county, this is going to be a benefit to us. Continuing to try to understand where his plan is and bring him to a committee if we get something a little bit more solidified. We did discuss Aldina School and Aldina Infirmary. Aldina School was recently purchased by a local group that has a small business that is currently established in DeKalb, and they were bringing it to Lee County. They've been trying to find a location for the better part of 6 years and landed on Aldina School, and they're going to be able to, they're starting already to clean up that property, remove a lot of the junk cars and junk, and I think what they're planning on doing is removing a couple of the wings of the school and just using the main corridor as their shop and distribution area. So we're really excited about that, a nice reuse of an abandoned property, a nuisance property. And then with Aldina Infirmary or Aldina Nursing Home, which is another large abandoned property, we are currently working with the owners that do not live in Lee County on trying to figure out what their future intentions are of the property. We've had some communication with them. We've also posted that through our health code and nuisance code a few months back, and it's been multiple times over the years. So that is kind of our next large project that we have in our sights right now. Outside of that, we have identified a handful of residential properties in unincorporated Lee County that if the partner communities with the Strong Communities Grant, those properties fall through, we can move on a handful of our unincorporated properties within the county. So it was a great meeting last week, and I think there's a lot of progress. Unfortunately, things take time, but we have seen movement, so it's a positive thing. Any questions? Or anything else you'd like to add, Mike? Or Dean? I don't think you were there last week. Tom, were you? Were you? Tom, anything to add? Okay.
It seems like things are starting to pick up or click and fall in place as far as the abandoned buildings and getting people to improve them. I know it takes work and it takes time, but there is some improvement being taken, shown.
Yeah, and then, another thing to note is the county did recently hire our building official, which is Joe Bay. He's going to be coming over from the city of Dixon. I'm really excited for his addition to what we are currently doing and what we continue to try to build within the zoning and building department. So he's going to be a fabulous addition to this focus group and what we are trying to accomplish with that. And we're really excited for that as well. I do know that we have discussed building out proper code so that not just the health code, which currently enforces a lot of our nuisance issues, that the zoning and building department would also have the same applicability to do so. But we don't have that code currently, so we're working through that as well. But once Joe comes on, we're going to continue to build that.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions for Jeremy? Thanks, Jeremy. Okay, don't show anything for unfinished business. I don't show anything for new business. Charlie, nothing for executive. Okay, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment. So moved by Mr. Hudson, seconded by Mr. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.